Welcome to another video. As we can see here, a nice egg decided to attack it. Decided to attack air chords, and that make the TDTA to start getting more serious and actually start working on the newly built one, which actually gives them a lot of hope. Because at this point, they decided to join all the walls to make this happen. Luckily, thanks to the Eastern Bloc, they managed to actually work things out, and it's easier that way because stuff. This usually help. Then they managed to fix the North, which ironically already declared war on air chords. Luckily, air chords will probably actually manage to stay along for a long time due to having the international river as the border. See, air chords is becoming more isolated than ever, and apparently, they already saying military. But luckily, due to TDTA, some very successful coup on the kingdom of Unak Imperium, which kind of reminds me of Uhel Imperium, the good old days. As we see here, I'm starting to actually get nostalgia, because this year has been a long time, and yeah, look like there's a huge Russian military, and due to this, people are now thinking about stuff. I see they actually managed to went outside. They actually managed to conquer. I see Great Uchi is already and Rama Ishii is already. Rama Ishii on is actually already started attacking it, and then the entire air core is still alive. Oh yeah, and I see your TDTA destroying most of air core's land, and yeah, and then we have the War of Rivers, I think, which nothing really happened, so I don't think it's called battle. But then people start using a nuclear bomb to start attacking people with They start airstriking the area, apparently, and then after that, TA is fine, except that Nice Egg is now find themselves in another battle, and yet their population is not good. They're pretty weak. So Great Fear did anything what any reasonable person would do. They did atomic bombs on specialized cities, and then sending out a crab monster. What was actually very surprising, since we barely, because we only see this once, and seeing it again shows that it's very powerful. Actually, he can't find anything reason why the rest of air core's population, and so he just self-destruct. Which is, I'm actually confused too. Meanwhile, what's that happening? The Great Uchi, since having so many cities, too much they think to pay off. So he created. He allowed two of these countries, but to be willing. And yet one of them already yeah. I see the Orc is pretty powerful, we could say. But he doesn't matter because he's losing money. As we can see here in the very experienced some sinking in the area. Ironically, they literally missed this part, and people start realizing about how weird that the water didn't destroy the walls. I see the first ever country to be sunken was the Great Repushi, and yet luckily, and yeah, and that's starting to make people more aware. So and also the TDTA is starting to get aware of this, but just to test it out, they decided to create an artificial island, which kind of created a tsunami because of this. I don't know what to feel about that. And then they decided to bark it all up with walls and see how things react. And as you know, while they're reacting, a huge current was here. Okay, now versus another one right here. Same size, about, and they check. I see this one, they see the waves frequency. They were going to hit it, but then they missed, and then that also swallowed up this. They were all shocked. So they decided to check it if they just, remove it. And yet, what again? It sunk. After realizing about the miraculous discovery, they decided to start building a wall. It was top secret though. Luckily, they already got the northern side. They decided to only included some small, but they realized maybe the history books were real. So they literally just, take this part of the port, which is kind of ironic because that's literally most of the land. But don't worry. Meanwhile, here, this part of land, this island, got sunken for an miraculous reason. Mostly because this area it's been pretty likely said that, I don't know why, but still, it all happened, and let's just say a lot of people are already flocking. I see Ram Mishia planned this, but actually they just realized they forgot to do a wall in one city. Well, it was too late because it's sunk in this one. They realized people start putting out warning about upcoming tsunamis, but they also for some reason start having earthquakes. Even the ones that are walled in, like the TDTA, they got some weird looking mountains start to grow in. Ironically, as you see here, the air cores is starting to move with this area. As you see this one, they realize about this, and they realize they can't leave their North American alliance, since this is the only the only New World alliance. So they quickly built a wall to that, which is actually pretty smart, because one time there's actually a sunken here. There was a weird tsunami here. A lot of people died, and especially it'll be harder for them when it's dark outside. Meanwhile, here we got a war in the north that I like to call the Great Northern War. Actually, I can't say that because apparently they already have a name for this war. What? I don't know what. Really? I don't see what's the war called again. Our treaty is in the War of Sudden Conquest. The War of Sudden, and what did I say? Forged by Nikon. I guess there's only 2 people starving. Okay. And yeah, I see here they start having some minor sinking. Let's just say they lost this small peninsula. They lost this. And they lost a ship that literally bought an entire army. So they realized that they needed to do something. But Taban was very, 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 very. He only cares about this part. They literally just put it off warning. As that came, that caused a lot of people to be stuck while the tsunami came. And for some reason, due to God's liking this, for some reason, the great just paths continue to exist for some acknowledged reason. But it was pretty weird though. I see they only find in today's archaeology, people only find spots of it, and we can also forget that many people here, some people actually society live in the tiny area, and we'll learn this later.